So the welder, just open up the side. So this is from the factory. This jobby here that we're seeing is the adapter to run the larger 10 to 12 pound spools, and we have the 2-pounder. So I went to the, it's in the manual, but they also have this handy guide here. You need to remove the adapter. Like so. These two items are the adapter. I will screw those back together. You don't want to lose any bits or pieces on the bottom shelf for now. And they want the wire on here so it feeds like so off the top. So you can see our wire there. Go like that. We'll put that little hub on there. Also, being as we're going to be using shielding gas, we want the welder to be set up direct current, electrode positive. It's in the manual, but then also right there. And you can see everything is nicely color-coded. We've got our wire spool on. We're going to need some shielding gas. This is the inlet right here. I feel that's nice and snug. This is the regulator that comes along with the welder. This side is your pressure that you have in your tank, so it's kind of like your gas gauge, so to speak. This will be your working pressure, or the pressure you're sending off to your MIG gun. I'm unsure why, but the regulator screw came separate in the box from the regulator itself. You always want it to be loose. The further you screw it in, that sends more pressure out to your welder. But always keep it loose, and anytime you're using it, keep it loose. That way you're not putting any stress on the mechanism inside your regulator. Next, we'll go over to put this on the tank. The mix of gas we'll be using with our MIG welder is C25. You always start a fresh bottle by what we call cracking. Now, cracking is nothing more than giving it a quick open, close. Remember, never stand or put anything out that end of your bottle when you're cracking it. Let's give her a crack. Oh, and it's a bit loud. Let's get our valve in place. You can see the faces here. You want them so you can easily reference from out front when you're working. And you'll just want this to be snug. So we've got quite a lot of hose here. Not sure what to do with it, so I'm just going to do a little ring around the rosy with the tank. Everything is regular thread. Just snug. When it's time to get to welding, open up your tank and pow, look at that. We've got some pressure. Then I like to grab my pressure screw here and bring her up. You see that inner red number? That's your feet per hour. Yeah, it's kind of weird. We screw this guy in till we reach, I like to go about 25. 25 to 30 is typical. Now we want to check and make sure we have the correct drive roller on our feed assembly. So to check to make sure we're set up correctly, we'll loosen the thumb screw here. This will come down like so. And you see the upper feed roller pops up. We'll grab this. That loosens out. And you can see we're running it's stamped to indicate the guide on the inner here. Your wire will come in through here, go over the roller back on this side. Can you see there's two grooves on there? The one towards the machine is for 30, 35, and the outer one is for the 25 here. 30, 35, 30, 35. So we're good with that. This is our welding torch or welding gun. So we got two 30s that come with. So this is the end that plugs into the front of the welder. Here is our control cable. And there is our business end of things. Put this guy in there. This is the set screw that holds it. We'll make sure it's loose. That's where it goes in. And then we'll just snug. Guy here hooks into there. There's little nubbins, so I'm assuming the little nubbins line up in a particular way. We got too close together, too close together. Give it a little spin, draw it into where it needs to be, and now we're hooked up. This next step is fairly important, and you kind of have to follow the directions carefully. The wire is kind of kinked over. We've got to cut that off. We've got to get a nice clean cut with no burrs. And we also need to hold on to the wire very carefully so it doesn't come loose and flail about. You can have, the instructions say you'll have feeding issues, more commonly called bird nesting. If you've ever had bird nesting in a wire feed, avoid it. So I'm not happy with that nip. Bring this out. Cut it again. Make sure our end is pretty good. So we want to carefully spool out. We'll run into our dealio there, the wire there. You want to guide it into there like so, kind of like threading a needle. You should try and have 10 to 12 inches through there. I'll bring this down. If you look right here, you can see little numbers, 3, 4, 5. For solid wire, you want 3 to 5. So we'll start out, screw it down till we are at number 3. There you can see our cable. At this point, we want to get it laid out as straight as we can. We'll pull off our nozzle, remove our tip, counterclockwise, lefty-loosey for the tip. Now we need a power cord. Initially last night when we fired up on 110. It worked okay. This morning I ran down to the Home Depot, that's my closest home center type of place. Switched her up to the 240. I grabbed an outlet here and wired it into where my compressor is supposed to go. So the cord only goes on one way. You can see there's a little notch there. And there's a little notch there. Power. Here we go. We'll turn our machine on. And it roars to life. Now we're going to want to feed the wire out into our gun using the cold feed right here. As you can see, we've got plenty of wire. To test to make sure we have enough tension on our feed roller, we take our MIG gun, hold it against a piece of wood. If the wire just stalls out, we need to add more tension. But it should kind of kink out and want to push through. I'm going to say we're good. Well, it's going to take me a bit to figure out all of the settings on this. See if we make some sparks. Haha! Yeah, a little penetration. I think it's time to call it a night. When you find yourself ready to shut down for the day, you'll need to shut off your gas. Start by turning off the gas here on your tank. Gas is off. Grab your MIG gun right here. Point it in a fashion where you're not going to strike anything. Give it a squeeze. We'll go through some wire, but there everything drops down to 0. And then I like to turn out the pressure screw till it's kind of loose. There we go. Gas is shut down for the day. Here's a car ramp that I made in metal shop in high school, using this as kind of a test bed. Going to get a bit of practice in with this machine, and then hopefully put together a nice how to run the darn thing video. So far, it's a good machine. Thank you for watching. See you soon.